Except for the fact it's a mirror. Yeah. Not quite so perfect. One of these. That'll work. Just something to throw some paint on. Maybe not. Sorry. Hello, 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 Cavland. Hello, everybody out there in Cavland. Oh my gosh, that was loud. Not so loud, loudness. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this stuff down. There we go. Ilmarin. Yes, absolutely Ilmarin. A true veteran of the hobby, recognizing things instantly. I see. So yeah, I finished up my Slow Grow League stuff over the weekend. Posted up some pictures of that. And in the various places. And so now I need to work on some terrain because, as I mentioned in the past, by the way, hand drive. Do we have hands? Yeah, okay, good. Camera's working. I've got a great looking table. I've got a beautiful map. I've got great looking hills that John made for me. And Mr. Calaveras, hello. Glad to see you. Welcome back. I've got a really good looking table. I've got great trees. I've got great rocks. I've got great hills. I've got good looking models, and I got these ugly gray buildings. So we got to fix that. So this is what they look like when I throw them out on the table. And while these look, you know, I mean, they're great looking buildings, don't get me wrong. They need to be painted. I mean, it's not fair, right? So, you know, you bring out the shiny stuff. I got my airplane here, got my crossbow that I've finished up. See if I can figure out how to display this guy. Good Lord, the lag on the actual Twitch feed is crushing me. Anyway, these guys, this is not good. So we need to fix this. We need to have pretty buildings to go along with our other stuff. All right. All right. So Mr. Calaveras asks, are those buildings 3D printed? They are not. I'm not a 3D printer. I like buying things from people that 3D print, but that's a dark hole I'm not going down. I'll get to that question in just a minute, Ilmarin. So this is a building that you can order. I believe it's made from resin. I'm pretty sure this is resin. There's a company, Outland Scenics, I think is the name of it. It's a pretty Outland Models, excuse me. It's a pretty easy Google search. Jump in there. They make it's actually, I think, train stuff, but it works really good for calves. Here, let me pull down a calf. As you can see, this is about the right height for a calf. Calves are a couple of 2 or 3 stories tall, depending on how big a calf you're talking about. And so this stuff works out really good for them. Here, I've got a slightly bigger one here. So yeah, you could just go to their website and order the resin buildings. Now, here is some advice. They do have 3D printed buildings amidst their resin buildings, which is what these are. And the 3D print, the quality on the 3D printing buildings when I bought them is not up to standard. I mean, they are buildings. I think, hold on a second. I may have one. Hold on. Yeah, all right. So side-by-side comparison. So this is a 3D printed building. And there is just almost no comparison in the quality. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this texture, I think, for the side of a building. Let me back up, all right? I don't mean to be so critical. This is a perfectly serviceable building. It was kind of a pain in the beanie to assemble, but if that doesn't bother you, then it's perfectly serviceable, and the prices are very reasonable. Now, to my mind, next to this building, this one is not as good. The 3D printed building, I forget how small my actual screen area is. Let me lay these guys down. I prefer these. These are okay, perfectly serviceable. I wouldn't mind. In fact, I've got some more of these. I need to put them together. Maybe I'll do a better job next time. But these are significant. I would give these buildings an A, at least a B plus, probably an A in terms of their quality. These guys are only getting a C, maybe a C minus from me. So make your own choices, but just be aware they do have both resin and 3D printed, and they are really different in terms of their quality. So now back to Ilmarin's question. I did do some Googling trying to puzzle out what a dirty building looks like and what a clean building looks like. And, I mean, to me, all of the pictures I saw of dirty buildings were of very complicated buildings with very complicated outer surfaces. Yeah. Okay. I get that. Hold on a second. There's a guy, one of these guys. Yeah, this guy's got some brick on him. This guy does not. So, these are, how can I put this? The pictures I saw didn't really do me a whole heck of a lot of good. I don't have the kind of buildings that have the really complicated exteriors where there's like partially white bricks and partially red and maybe some metal bolted on. It's just those sort of convoluted, almost grim, dark future sort of buildings. That's not what these are. These are clearly very clean, well-maintained buildings. And so what I decided to do is my first experiment, because I need to order some more of these. I was on the thanks, Ilmarin. You're You're fantastic. You should do the show and I hang out and chat and just learn from you, because honestly, I feel like that's what happens here a lot of the time. Yeah, so I'm going to paint these guys up. I'm going to use some sponges. I went down to my local Michael's, which is a hobby store here in the States, and I bought some sponges that I'm going to chop up, and then I am just going to sort of sponge on a bunch of different colors to get sort of a mottled, hopefully realistic looking texture to them. Then I'll probably come back and do some actual brick painting of these guys. When I assembled these, I was kind of in a rush. I was just playing. I paint faster than you. That is sad, Ilmarin. That is sad, because I am a slow painter. Wow. But yeah, so when I put these together, I was just excited to get them on the table and play some games around them. So I didn't give any thought to how to handle these windows. And so unfortunately, they come with solid bottoms, right? And so it's going to be very difficult for me nowadays to put some kind of an insert in here to represent the, like a reflected glass window of some kind. So I don't really know what I'm going to do about that, but I'm not going to worry about it either, because I'm just not going to let it get in my way. It's not happening. Not this time. And I'll figure that out later. Now, somebody had the genius idea. It was that World War II in robe guy that showed up. I did not, because as I said, Ilmarin, when I put these guys together, I was not interested in. I put them together years ago, and so honestly, I don't even know if I had an airbrush when I put these guys back together. So yeah, I did not spray the interior at all. It's just the regular gray color of the resin. It's basically this color right here. So if I decide that that's something that interests me, I thought what I could do is I could come in with a tool and I could cut a hole in the bottom of this to get access to the inside, so I could do some work on the inside of them. But I'm not there yet, and I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. So, like I said, I went down to Michael's. I got some sponges. These are artificial sponges. These are apparently actual real sponges, because they're like tiny little fossils. You can see like they were once alive, apparently. It's just kind of creepy in a strange way. But anyway, there they are. So that's my goal tonight. I got a giant collection of sort of natural colors, mostly grays, bluish grays, a few reddish browns, that I'm going to try and do this stippling with, and we will see where this goes. Oh yeah, so that fellow that popped into our stream last week had the wonderful idea to try and do some decoupage. So decoupage is essentially pictures that are PVA glued onto the side of things. At least that's what I'm taking it to mean. And so I have this idea that I'm going to print some high-tech pictures, some very sci-fi looking images, and then I am going to decoupage them onto the sides of these buildings. In fact, what I really hope to do is to get one big image where the central focus of the image can fit into this sort of space, and then I'm going to cut that image up into pieces that fit here, and I'm going to decoupage them together so that when you look at them on the tabletop, if I position them, you can see there's a story happening across these buildings. And so what I did is I've never done that before, so I'm speculating that my glue will stick better to this resin than it will to the primer, that the wetness of the glue might reactivate the primer. And so I decided I would tape these guys over, and that way when I go to do the decoupage on the sides of these buildings, they would have this sort of texture and surface rather than primered texture and surface. So that's where we are. That's what we hope to accomplish tonight. Hopefully. All right. Wow. Peoples. Ilmarins. I saw we had a new fellow join the Discord just right before the show. Dave C. over on Discord did a fantastic job walking him around and showing him where all the stuff was, introducing him to all the stuff. So it was fantastic. It was nice to see. It was nice to see all the extra people hanging out lately, too. Just on the news front, I think Friday evening we're going to have a game. We're trying to, I don't know what kind of game we're going to play. Honestly, the Slow Grow League has kind of lost steam because, Ron and Teresa, well, it's not anybody's fault, but just people's schedules. Ron and Teresa have been really busy lately. Tiger Wraith? What? Tiger Wraith? Are you, I thought we banned you, Tiger Wraith. How are you in here? Just teasing. Of course not. Everybody welcome in Tiger Wraith. Glad to see you, man. We're working on buildings today, in case you didn't get the message. But yeah, so hopefully Friday we're going to get a game in. I know Kyle and Cthulhu and myself, I think, are maybe available, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to work out. Not sure if we're going to play Slow Grow. I think we're going to play Slow Grow. I'm just not 100% sure, which means, of course, I got to go in and me? Cthulhu? Are you talking to me? Because I don't paint faster than anything. Tiger Wraith, these are Outland model buildings. Outlandmodels.com, I think, will take you to the place where you can peruse these. I believe they make N and HO scale style resin buildings. We had this little speech a little bit earlier, but they also do some 3D printed ones, which are not as good. They are not terrible, but they are not to the standard of these guys. And obviously you know that already. Okay, good. So that's where we are. Now, where do we start? I got to decide what kind of paints I'm going to, I guess, I feel like I should go with some darker colors first. So that's what we're going to try. We're just going to throw a cup out here and throw some paint in it. The other fun thing about this is not, there's no precision in what I'm about to do. I am just going to start slapping paint. I agree with you, Tiger Wraith. The resin cast ones are better. I don't think the 3D printed ones are unusable. They're just, compared to the resin ones, they are not as good. I would definitely recommend buying the resin ones if you had the opportunity. So this is Dark Sea Gray by Vallejo, which has not been opened in God knows how long. So God knows what's in here. Possibly some, monsters from the ether. All right. Grab my scissors. Here's another thing I don't know anything about is sponge foaming stuff. So I think I'm just going to hack me off like kind of a rough-edged piece of foam. Not sure that's rough-edged enough. I think I will take my X-Acto and cut that up a little bit so I get some more textures in there. Probably can't see that. Oh yeah, show the peoples. All right, that looks a little better. Too far from, I can't get much closer to the mic, so I mean literally my nose is touching the mic. Is that better? A minute ago I was further away from it. I was thinking. All right, so let's give this a shot. Get some of this here paint on here. And then we're just going to go to town. Literally, this is not the time for thinking. I'm just here to make with the colors. All right. And I'm just going to work on this one side here because, obviously I've got to do the whole building, but I think for now I'm just going to experiment here. If this doesn't work out, I have an airbrush with black primer, and I will just primer right over this sucker and pretend like this has never happened. And when you guys say, James, you messed that up, I'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. That was Tiger Wraith's stream. He's the one that did all that. All right, so there's that. Now, let's jump up to this. I got these two kind of middle-of-the-road grays that are very similar, so I'm just going to take the one that's already in my hand, spray some of this stuff out here, and go to town with the exact same sponge. I mean, literally, I don't know any reason to try and be neat with this. But I think I will get a little bit more of the paint off. I think part of the thing with this, question marks. I don't speak question mark, Tiger Wraith. You got questions? There, let's go on here. Dab a little bit more of that off. Oh, that's too much. Here. Spread that out. Get that off of there. I can't sing that song. I'll probably get in trouble. I could sing you old folk songs. That's interesting.
Twist.
Okay. Yeah, so twist. Like when I'm in contact with it, right? So like twist and shout. Yeah, otherwise it kind of ends up looking a little camouflagey because it's repetitive, right? I got to get some, maybe I need to use different pieces. I've been kind of using the same. Well, here, let's just grab some of this natural sponge. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like undead sea animals attack me? Maybe? I don't know. Let's try that. Do. Oh, I see what you mean. Don't come at it from the same angle. Maybe that's what you meant. I don't know. And just kind of beat those edges up. I literally have never done this before, so this is an experiment. Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Cthulhu. Appreciate the advice. So now I don't want to stick with just grays because I think that would be boring. So I've got these secret weapon. They're really blues. They're from the rubber highlight. So rubber, tire black, rubber, and rubber highlight. Those are kind of in the gray vein. And then I've got this fantasy. This is scale 75, I believe. Miskatonic gray, although it kind of looks pink to me. Try a little bit of that. See what that does. Oh, is that how you did the badger? Nice. Very nice. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my badger when the time comes. I think I'm going to try and go overboard. I'm going to just, do some things because it's so big, right? I could finally, good Lord, that looks weird. I just looked up at the Twitch stream. It looks like I'm punching the camera. Maybe I'll try a different angle. Yeah, I'm going to try and do some like, I don't know, some crazy stuff on that model when it comes time for me to do it. Still looks a little sharp. Maybe I'll just come in and kind of soften those edges, maybe. Interesting. Again, it kind of looks camouflagey to me, which is not really what I had in mind. I don't know. Maybe I need to just keep going. I think that's the goal. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Urban camo. Yeah, Tiger Wraith. We all need to do things like that, right? So let's jump out of the grays. Maybe the grays are what's giving it that urban camo look. So let's throw some brown in here. Again, if this doesn't work out, I have an eraser. So we will just undo some of the stuff we have done. Try and build up maybe a little bit more. I don't know. So what are you guys working on? What are your projects? If I could only do that on my calves. I'd give it a shot. I mean, you're bound to have extra calves laying around. I mean, good Lord, you must have as many calves as the rest of us. Try it. I mean, get a little tiny sponge, right? Or maybe tiny's the wrong way to go. Just go big. I mean, if you primer the thing black and you don't like the leg it looks, just paint it black again. Yeah. I hear what you say. I think there's some stuff to that. Here, I'm just gonna make this more of a less. I don't know. I think it's the edges that maybe make it look kind of camo-y. But I'm really hoping that this side, the decoupage side, not only the fact that I'm going to try and print out this really high-tech sci-fi image, if there's an opportunity, I'm going to come in with my airbrush and some, here, let me show you these paints I picked up the other day. So I picked up these golden, which is one of my favorite colors, these fluorescents, right? And I'm going to come in and kind of strengthen. That's not a golden fluorescent, sorry. And I'm going to use the airbrush to come in and like just accentuate. I'm sorry, I'm not talking into the mic again. To accentuate some of the colors that are in the decoupage, so that I give it much more of an electric feel, not like a worn out like a brain lock. Just not like a worn out poster. Man, Imran, I don't know if you saw over on the CAV forums, I realized I had the ability to like hand out rewards. And so I gave you a reward for having a great idea. Check it out if you haven't already. I don't know what it means, but I gave you an award. All right, like I said, I just this is not the time for thinking. This is the time for doing. I'm just gonna slam some of this paint on here, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know. Maybe I need some of those neon colors in here. Because again, this looks like trucks that I see in the fall when deer season comes out, and I'm not sure that's really what I was going for. Yeah, Cthulhu. So here's my plan, right? When I finally get around to painting that badger, I hope to do like a painting on the badger. So I'm going to go find some tattoo outline silhouette art that I like, maybe some kind of big dragon. And I'm going to find a way to transfer that onto the badger. And then I'm going to go through and try and paint that thing up like a painting so that my badger is going to have like just, I'm going to go overboard. Normally when I paint models, I try and just, it's kind of like this guy, right? I'm just like, hey, I'm just here to make something happen. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not here to make this thing beautiful and pretty. I've got my standard. I'm shooting for it. And that's where I am. So I don't know. But the badger I'm going to take my time on. So here we go. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know. It looks... I don't know. I mean, it's not terrible. It's painted at this point. I could do a lot of things to it. I could come in and, like stain it with some oil washes, to make it look like it's been rained on and it's rusty and stuff like that. I'm just not sure how happy I am. Let's put some of these blues in here. Like I said, we are just slapping paint. It don't matter to me today if this comes out pretty or not. Although if wouldn't hurt my feelings, I would cry about it if it came out decent. Yeah, or like the Scooby-Doo van, right? The little peace flowers and all that. Oh, you got to remember to twist. I think I'm twisting in one spot. I'm doing the twist. Is that song in the public domain? Can I sing the twist for you? I don't know. Maybe I need to go heavier so that there's more of one color instead of so much of the other colors. Yeah, let's try that. Just put it. Yeah. Grab a dry. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. A dry brush. Okay, hold on a second. Let me think about that for a minute. Let me dab on some more of this rubber highlight. And then we'll come in and we'll do some of that stuff. Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. I just want to kind of, I don't know, give it more. I want it to have variety, but I guess I don't want it to be camo. Although I'm serious, Tiger Wraith. I feel like you could do this with a CAV. I don't see why you couldn't. And if this works, you may have discovered something super fast. Here we go. Yeah, I'm starting to like this a little bit better. It's got more of, it's like it was painted a color and then other things have happened to it. I tell you what, if you guys are interested in distressed models, like painting rust and all that stuff, Mr. Justin over with Secret Weapon Miniatures, the guys that make these paints, literally, he has a YouTube channel, and that guy is a master of just rust effects and all that sort of aging and making things look, worn out. He is incredible. If you get a chance, get over there. In fact, he's been streaming again recently. That's why that popped into my head. There was a long time during COVID where he didn't stream at all. And I saw him pop up in YouTube notifications recently and popped over and watched some of his show. And that guy he is incredible. He is definitely, I mean, to the best of my, that's a complicated field. There are lots of people that put a lot of effort into making, especially those military history model guys. Yeah, it could be that this is basically dry brushing Tiger Wraith. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. This is basically dry brushing. I'm just coming in here and hitting it. All right. Yeah. I'm liking that. I can live with that. All right, so now we're going to do what Ilmarin said. This is like Simon Says, except we're doing what Ilmarin says. So let me look over here. Got to find me a dry brush. You are not a dry brush. You are a dry brush. This is a makeup brush that my daughters weren't able to throw away before I could rescue it. Actually, they brought it to me because they know I love their old makeup brushes. Love them to death. One of the best things ever. Ever. All right. So, dry brush. So what are you thinking, Imran? Am I trying to just like edge highlight to make it look like, it's kind of worn? Is that what we're talking about? Are we looking to make stains? What do we want to do? Edge highlights, you say? Okay, glad to hear it. You and I are on the exact same page. Ha 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 ha. Let me mix this up on my Vortex mixery thing. Sorry for the noises. But seriously, what are you guys working on? I know Mr. Calaveras, who was here with us earlier, is very new to the game. Not even sure he's had a chance to get models yet. Yeah. Oh, to me, that's for oil washes. So the thing is, I want these to be worn buildings, but I don't want them to look like, they've sat out in the rain for 73 years and, this is like a rust culture farm has grown up here. It's like scientists are doing rust experiments. But I do want them to be, used and weathered and whatnot. So I guess we'll just play it by ear. Here we go. I always forget. Get this stuff on here. All right. So when I'm dry brushing, what I like to do is I'll just dry brush my hand a little bit, see if it's still got stuff. Not much. This is airbrush paint, so you don't have to take quite as much off when you do your thing. All right, so now I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to try and do some dry brushing on these window sills. And I went with gunmetal. I've got a couple of brighter metal colors, and if this works out, I'll come back in with them and do another layer of. And remember, I'm going fast. At least I'm talking to myself there. I'm just slapping, just to see what this looks like. How fast can we go? What can we do? Because the other thing I can do is I can come back with the sponges where I've gotten a little bit out of the lines here. I can come back with the sponges and just go back over the edges. Should be able to make that work. All right. Now, I probably do some of this edges too, because I need some more paint, don't I? Chandler Scott, holy crack-a-moly, this is awesome. I have to get 3 Grow League forces painted prior to ReaperCon. 3 Grow. Slow Grow? I don't... What kind of forces are those? Help me out. What's going on at ReaperCon? I am sadly not going to be there. So I am all ears. I'm very curious to know what's going on with ReaperCon. Yeah, I like the way this metal look is working on these windows. Like I said, it's also quick. I think I can hide the where I'm brushing outside the windows. I'm not being careful in any way, shape, or form. We're just kind of hitting it. And then I'm going to come over here and do the edges a little bit. Make it look like the edges of the building are kind of worn. Need some more paint. 2 others. So you guys playing at ReaperCon, Chandler Scott? What's going on over there? Who you playing with? I know Ross was talking about running his own version of a Slow Grow League, but I haven't heard anything about it in a minute or two, so I wasn't sure what was... yeah, I'll just cover that up. All right. So now I think what Cthulhu was talking about was just dragging this stuff down like that, maybe? Pardon my dog barking downstairs. It's technically not my dog, but might as well be. Tiger Wraith at NashCon. You going to post some pictures for us, or are you running anything? What's going on at NashCon? So now I'm just trying to pick up the edges of these plates. I guess now that I look at it, I mean, this metal look is kind of, I can kind of make these look like they're just big kind of metal plates. I think that's kind of got a good look. So I'm really just dry brushing the edges of these things. Like I said, like they've been worn a little bit. And where it's really hard to get like in here, I'll just come in and just dab kind of along this line. Just to kind of give it something of a look. Need some more paint. God, I've gone through so much paint today. So you and Ross, Chandler Scott, and the boys are going to play at ReaperCon? That sounds like fun. Sounds like a lot of fun to me. I really had fun with our Slow Grow League. I hope we can bring it in to the, bring it home, finish it up. But if not, that's okay too. Kyle has been interested in playing some infantry, so I'm looking forward to getting around to trying that at some point. A little too much, maybe. Like I said, this is fast painting. This is not me trying to be airbrushy guy. This is me just going paint. Let's do paint. Put some paint on. Maybe it's a metal door. Paint. All right. Now let's do some brighter paint. Where's that silver? This is Model Air Silver Metallic by Vallejo again. Yeah, that would be cool to see Master Guns again. That guy's fantastic. Such a good painter. Nice guy too. At CAVCon, he and I split an Airbnb, so we get to spend a lot of quality time together, like hang out and just chit chat about real life stuff. That guy is wise beyond his years. All right, so now I got some of this brighter paint. Try and wipe that off to start out with, and then come in and we'll be a little more gentle with this one because I don't want to erase all of the good work the gunmetal did. I just want to put a little bit of this kind of in the center, maybe. I don't know. For each window. And then I'm going to come back with my sponges and try and hide some of that. Go down the edges here. Again, this is kind of edge highlighting with a dry brush. We're doing some strange stuff here tonight, fellas. This is I've never done any of this stuff before, ever. This is crazy. Crazy times. All right. All right, so Chandler Scott, these are from outlandmodels.com. Back when I first got into CAV, I bought them. I bought a bunch of them for terrain. Just Google that. You'll find them in a heartbeat. They're very inexpensive. I haven't checked the prices in a few years, but this is like $7 or $8 probably, this big guy right here. Maybe a smidgen more. Like I said, it's been ages since I bought them. They have a big selection. It's mostly terrain stuff. Yeah, you're right, Tucker. In fact, I may have bought mine on eBay. It's been so long. But yeah, somewhere out on Google. Google will find them for you. Outland. Actually, I could just tell you because I pulled it up ahead of time thinking people might ask this question. If you go to outlandmodels.com, you will find them. Just poke around in there in their section. Now, be aware, they do sell some 3D printed buildings that are not as good. They're not bad, but the quality is not as good. I had a lot of trouble assembling these back in the day. In fact, I only assembled this one, and then I gave up. That's how bad it was. So definitely, in my opinion, you should try and get the resin buildings. I think you'll be happier with those. At least I was. All right, so back to this paint job. So I really like the way this is coming out. I like this complicated sort of bluish scheme here with these other tones in it. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and come back with a sponge and clean up a little bit of this over dry brushing thingy. And if that works, great. And if it doesn't, that's too bad. I will figure it out. I need some more. What do we got here? Secret Weapon Rubber Highlight. One of my favorite colors. In fact, I use this triad of rubber things to paint the tires on my Sabres. These guys right here. You can't tell it now because of all the weathering powder I put on them to make them look like... Because the Recon guys really do all the work. I don't know if you noticed in any of my pictures, but these are the dirty guys. The really dirty guys. They're out in the muck doing work. Don't let anybody tell you different. Yeah, so Good Huntsman, I don't know anything about 3D printing. Nothing at all. But I bought these guys 6-7 years ago, maybe. 6 or 7. Maybe not quite that long. Let me think. 4 or 5 years ago. And so I'm sure the technology's come a long way. But I agree. I will not buy any more of these. I'm going to put together the ones I have. I'll probably turn them into kind of like for a board with some like bombed out buildings. I'll come in and scar these up and turn these into 10 millimeter grimdark sort of buildings. So I don't feel like I got cheated or anything, but the quality, the difference in quality is amazing. So yeah. And I'd love to see some of your 3D printed buildings, Mr. Huntsman. Feel free to share. We love pictures. More pictures. Yeah, seriously. Well, you know what I'm thinking is, I'll come in with my Dremel tool, right, and just like punch some giant holes like a Mac came through here and hit this thing, or just kind of crazy stuff, right? In fact, what I might do is I might grab a CAV and kind of cut out like a CAV kind of walked into this building and tore out a CAV-sized piece of it, like it kicked it or something. That sort of business. I will have fun just taking this thing and turning it into something creative. But yeah, you're right. They are kind of scarred up already. I was not super happy when I opened the package up and saw those, but I was very happy with these. So all's well that ends well. All right, let's try this. Let's get a different. I'm just going to tear this thing in half. Get a new tip. Pat that out. And I'm going to come in just a little more carefully this time because I'm really just trying to kind of clean up the edges where the dry brushing kind of got a little overzealous. The guy that said he didn't care where the paint went, I don't know where he is now, but Wile E. Coyote style. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I've got some of those. I bet I've got some Bones One calves that I'm never probably going to mess with. I could totally. Good Huntsman, you're a genius. See, this is exactly what this show is all about. This is not me teaching anybody how to paint, because, hell, I don't barely know how to paint myself. And what I'm saying is, we get together and it's got, people. I say guys, could be anybody out there. I encourage anybody. We're open show. You bring it. You could be anything you want to be on this show. But what I'm saying is, everybody, people here have good ideas, and we just run with them, We just, I would have never thought of sticking a CAV in there like it had crashed. That's a good idea. Weren't there some CAV wreck markers? Yeah, it's probably not as good idea as the Wile E. Coyote version anyway. Just plant it in the side of the building. I like the sound of that. Yeah, especially if you were to, you were like, come in with this building, right? And like shove the CAV like partway into the building, and then make some giant Mac holes like all across the building, including into the CAV, right? So that you're telling a story with the CAV, right? I mean, some MRAC or something just stitched him across and did him over. Especially if you made it look like a cockpit hit. Oh, that would be fantastic. Yeah, you're right. In retrospect, Huntsman, your idea is much better. Definitely going to go with just find an old CAV that I'm never going to mess with and use him. All right. Clean this up a little bit. Just get in there. This is just about doing stuff. We're not being pretty. This is an experiment. If it doesn't work, we bring out the black primer and we erase everything. We claim that it's Tiger Wraith's fault and he made us do it. No. Chandler Scott's here now. Sorry, seniority. Chandler Scott gets to do it because he's the biggest nemesis. I don't actually know which one of them is the bigger nemesis. Probably both of them. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah. I think that's what we needed. We definitely needed a little more monotonality to the side of the building. Not all of it, but a little bit more. Probably should have started out with some of the darker colors in this range, though. Huh. I don't have to prove it, Chandler. You got the rep. I just got to go, wah, Chandler, push me. And the teacher is going to be like, Chandler, even if you did it or not, you're just that kind of, you're just that kind of thing. Lots of scorch marks and a black streak up. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is, now I'm almost more excited to work on that other building. But I want to do kind of a high-techy look building, right? So I'm gonna I really hope this decoupage idea will really work out good. Which of course means it's, in my head it's it's like, I don't know. It's a superstar. It's a touchdown in the fourth quarter for the win for the Super Bowl, and when I actually go to do it, it'll be like it's spring practice and you managed to kick a field goal. Chandler Scott, yep. Yep, Chandler Scott's poor, sweet, innocent little old me. All right. I probably ought to give this some more thought, right? Like, I don't know. Let's think about this. Maybe concentrate some of the darker colors like at the bottom of each plate to give kind of a sense of transition of color. I don't want to lose all those browns though. I got to be careful. Those browns I think are doing a lot of good work. In fact, I'm going to put some more back in there. Huntsman, you're full of amazing ideas tonight. Ilmarin had the same kind of idea earlier. You're right. There's just a lot of things to be done with these buildings, right? But the point is, I kind of want them to be done a little bit fast. So just kind of come in and poke that. And I will come in with a brush later and be specific with some of my oil washes, and I'll get a chance to knock some of this stuff down and make it look streaky. I'm not going to go crazy. I don't want these to look like they were, like an abandoned, like a chemical factory. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Brandon is not gonna. I'm not coming to ReaperCon. I wish I was, but it's just a little too much to risk, I think. We originally had tickets in a hotel room and the whole 9 yards, and we were just. It's just not the right time. My wife and I are neither one of us are spring chickens, and so we don't want to risk getting sick. So we will we'll have to wait for another time. And besides, Brandon's just going to kick my butt the next time we play. I got lucky against him. Still was my favorite game of CAV ever against him. It just stands out in my memory to this day. All right. Probably need to spread that out a little bit. It's just concentrate around the windows a little too much, maybe. Get some of this down here. Now, one thing I will do is in this big open space right here, I'll probably put some sort of nomenclature, maybe like a street sign or some sort of billboard ad or something. I can't imagine a building, but in this case, I'll make it a little more traditional. I'm really hoping to pull off the look of one of those like big digital screens. I'm really hoping to get that look on this side, but on this side, I'll make more of a more traditional, just like a I don't know, a traffic circle this way or something along those lines. I'm not sure quite what words I'm going to go with yet. I might try and, not a transfer. I'll hand paint these. I've been trying to use a lot of transfers lately, but I think in this case I'm going to hand paint this stuff. I feel like I'm getting a college level course in building dirtography. Let me see here. Clean up just a little bit of this stuff, a little bit more. Tiger Wraith, I really hope you do try and do this kind of camo in your stuff. If this works, my gosh, you could paint up a forest really fast. Got to remember Cthulhu's advice and always turn the sponge so I don't get like rubber stamp versions of the same exact texture pattern. All right, so now to take that advice about corners and whatnot, shaking up some more paint here. I'm going to bring out the shade color from this triad and see if it'll help me darken up the corners just a little bit. All right. There we go. I don't know if you can see that, but that's way darker. I think I'm going to switch back over to this natural sponge again too. It's got a really different kind of texture to it. Interesting. It's a very strong color. All right. Along the edges, he says. So just kind of gently go up the side of this building. Itsy bitsy spider went up the building side, fired off some rockets, and I don't know, blew up James's minis. Kind of like this. See if I can get a little really small kind of a point. Come in there and soak some of that up. And do some of this right here at the base of let's get rid of some of that darken up the base of the windows a little bit. I have noticed a nice uptick. We've had a bunch of people join the Facebook group in the last week. I want to say 7 or 8 new people. So, and there's been, gosh, I meant to write that guy's name down. That fellow that was posting up his green Malvernus. And there was a guy last week that was posting up his paint jobs too. Just all kinds of really cool stuff going on. I'm going to dry that out a little bit. Like I said, just kind of get some textures, just some kind of random. I feel like once I have this figured out in my head, I could probably do a whole building in an hour. I know it's been most of an hour just doing this one, but I feel like this could be, oh yeah, I see what you mean. The dirt level, I've got this darker color down here at the bottom, kind of piled up. That's working out pretty good for me. I like the advice, Mr. Huntsman. Come in here where the joints are, maybe. Maybe that would collect stuff. Some more of this. Tiger Wraith, if you don't try this, I'm going to try this on a CAV. Yeah, that again. My apologies. I should have went and looked that person's name up on Facebook. But those green Malverns were fantastic. I was blown away. Those guys were awesome. So this rubber, the actual tire black color is kind of a little transparent, and I like it. I can see through it just a tiny little bit, and I think that's doing me a world of good here. I'm pleased as punch. This is coming out pretty solid, I think. All right. What do you guys think? I think it came out pretty decent. I like the modeling. I like the tonality. The kind of it's not gray. It's more of a bluish green color. The little bit of metal's okay. I think I probably overdid it. I probably should have been a little more precise with the dry brushing. I'm going to have to do something to kind of clean some of this up a little bit, but I think I want to let it dry, and then maybe I can come in and, I don't know. I'll find a way to kind of hide the things where I got a little bit overzealous. Maybe I'll make a point of making some scratches or something. Stand it at range, set a cab next to it, and look. Well, the problem with that is my camera only looks horizontal, and so I don't have, it's difficult for me to do and show you guys, right? So, I mean, if I just go, well, can I even do that a little bit? Hold on, let me see. Can I push those guys back and bend the camera a little tiny bit? Problem is now the light. Let's go see if we can get some more light in there. Yeah, I think it came out all right. I don't hate that at all. Not even a little bit. It doesn't. I mean, the bluish green tone kind of contrasts starkly with my Lyman's, but that is what it is. You can't color coordinate the entire battlefield, even though I might try. Let's throw something else down there. Where are you? Here we go. Here's this Cossack. Again, more green next to bluish green. Dirt, pollen, and mold. Yeah, me too, Good Huntsman. In fact, I think what I will do, I'm gonna talk to John and see if John has any official images that he would like to let me have access to, so that I could have some stuff that is 100% CAV related. If not, I can always go on the internet and find, go to Fiverr or someplace where I can buy some. Or maybe just find some free sci-fi images. But I'm really looking for something that's just, like I said, I mean, night and day. Like, if I could find a way to do it, if I were a talented enough artist, I want this to look like an LCD screen. I can't do that, but I would like to do it. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, so, that's not a bad idea. I could literally get some... I could take some of those weathering powders and put some of those around the window. That might help. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe down here a small like CAV recruit pilot thing down here. Get on camera. That would help a little bit. Just make the camera point where it's supposed to. That would help as well. Good Lord, I'm like terrible. You guys should go over to Wapple's channel where he knows what he's doing. There we go. Anyway, yeah, definitely some sort of postery thing right here, and then of course I've got these other sides to do as well, including this front. I think this front will look good because I'll do the bricks in some sort of a contrasting color, something reddish orangey maybe, just so it looks really different from the side this side of the building. But yeah, I'm pleased as punch with the way that came out. Pleased as punch. Speaking of punch, it's about time to punch our ticket out of here. It's almost 9 o'clock. So just a quick review in case Mr. Calvarez or anybody else new is still hanging around. John will be on Wednesday to talk about all things CAV, answer your questions about upcoming rules changes, things that he's got in the work. He's been really quiet lately. So John and I chat off the main channels periodically. And he's just been really quiet, which makes me think he's got something up his sleeve. So there may be some pet project that's coming to fruition or something he's going to surprise us with that's in the near future. That's what I plan to bug him about. I plan to bug him about that on Wednesday on the stream. Saturday, Chris Lewis will be on sculpting something CAV related. I think last weekend he was doing the 28 millimeter CAV models. I'm calling them CAV models. They may disagree. Shh, it's a secret. Yeah, I know, Chandler. I know it's a secret. And then, of course, me back on here Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time next week. I hope to have one of these buildings done completely to show you. Hopefully, cross my fingers, and then we can see where we go from there. I will post up pictures of my progress in the usual channels, the forum, the Facebook, the Discord. So come and hang out with us, have fun, paint some calves. What faction? Yeah, that's the other thing, right? Ilmarin, I don't know. I mean, is this a rock planet? Is this an Almirithal planet? Is it an independent world? I don't know. It's a good question. All right, I'm waiting. I'm still here, Ilmarin. I would never leave until you gave me permission. Image. Okay. You said the word image? Or are you trying to post an image? Quick Start Guide, page 25. All right, hold on a second. Amazingly enough, I happen to have one of those right here. Good Lord. Page 25 doesn't actually have one. This is page 25, right? I think page 25. Is there a particular image you had in mind? I'm flipping through the book looking for an image that I think is appropriate. There's all the faction images, kind of. Man, Master Gun has a lot of pictures in this thing. He's awesome. CAV strike operations construction in a wrench and a gear. You'll have to find that and post it somewhere where I can see it, Mr. Ilmerin, because I don't think there's anything like that. I'm flipping through the quick start guide here, and there's a little bit of art, but it's mostly faction art, and there's a couple of small CAV images. Yeah, nothing. I didn't see anything like that. So if you find it, let me know. Tiger Wraith Ilmerin had an idea for an image I could use, but I guess we miscommunicated about where it was. So that's it then. I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much, Ilmerin. I'll go check it out. I appreciate everybody. As always, I encourage you to be kind and helpful to those around you. They'll be kind and helpful back. It's a thing. I promise. Take care. Be safe. Play CAV.